podcast with our host, Shyrell Copus. Shyrell, how are you? And you know what?
Great.
I am excited to talk to you today about bookkeeping.
Awesome.
Because here's the thing. I did years ago, I had to do some bookkeeping, go back my business 3 years. And I looked to hire a bookkeeper. And ultimately, they're booked solid. What
Yes,
you've
we
done
are.
as Shirell's Tax has given the opportunity because you've built such a huge team that you do have bookkeeping spots available, right? Explain.
Well, I sure do. Yes, yes. So we have a team of about 12 professionals. They're enrolled agents, CPAs, CTAs, just like me. And if somebody doesn't know what a CTA is, oh my goodness, shame on you. In my opinion, of course, I'm better than a CPA because I know bookkeeping, accounting, and tax. How about that? So, yes, you definitely want to have a professional who knows quite a bit of everything because if your bookkeeping is not right, guess what? That tax return is not going to be correct either.
No, it's not. And the bookkeeping has to be correct in so many ways. And hiring a bookkeeper now in August before the end of the year, if you have
Yes,
to go back, it's going to be hard because you're going to go to a lot of companies and they're not going to want to work with you virtually. They're going to
that's
want
right.
you to come on in
That's
and
right.
they're going to take so much time to get to know you versus, hey, I bring a team that you could trust and get things going. So explain the process if someone wanted to hire Shirell's Tax as a bookkeeper.
So, first of all, we have a thing called I Love HoneyBook. It's my CRM, customer relation management software. We're going to invite you to that and we give you 24/7 free access. You can upload all your documents there, anything that we ask for, all secure, safe, all perfect. But QuickBooks, and you guys know I love QuickBooks. I've been dealing with QuickBooks for many, many years. Of course, we deal with any other accounting software too, but I love QuickBooks because they just have a lot of extra things that other softwares don't have. So we're going to invite you into QuickBooks. If you don't have any kind of software for your accounting and bookkeeping, oh my goodness, let's say that again because wow, people cannot keep track of all these little receipts, that bucket of receipt, the Walmart bag full of receipts on a spreadsheet. It just is not possible anymore. You're going to miss something. That's why we want you to have a business bank account and we want to match that business bank account and those business bank statements in your QuickBooks, your software, whatever accounting software you have. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to ask you a million questions. I have people tell me all the time, oh my gosh, Shyrell, you ask me more questions than any accountant I've ever been to. Well, because I'm doing my best to get you all those tax credits that you qualify for. We don't want to miss that,
So when you
right?
think about that bookkeeping process, which is really interesting, is that if you do proper bookkeeping throughout the year, when April
Yes.
comes, or if you extend your taxes to the extended deadline for businesses, you've not missed out,
Yes.
right?
Right. That's
And
right.
explain why.
So, because if you don't have all those expenses accounted for by the end of the year, like I just said a minute ago, you're missing out on some good stuff. You're missing out on expenses that are obviously business, right? Everybody calls them write-offs. I know everybody loves that word, write-offs. We call them business expenses. Um, because if you are waiting until December 31 to do your accounting and bookkeeping for your tax return that's due in 4 months, wow, you've created yourself a mess. And now you've created a time crunch for people like me. However, people like me, we have big teams because, well, we don't want to get crunched up at that time. So Shirell's Tax is not just about tax. Like you just said, we do bookkeeping and accounting, which they're not the same. There are two different things. And the reason I created Shirell's Tax the way I have is because I don't like having to ask the tax person why they did the tax return like this. I don't like having to ask the accountant why they did the accounting like that. We do it all in one place, one stop shop, accounting, bookkeeping. The bookkeeping is where you are keeping track of every little expense, everything, your little cups of coffee that you're drinking in the morning with a client. those pencils that you're buying, the pens you're buying, the
Right.
paper, not only all of those little things, but we forget that we bought something at Walmart for business. We just forget things. That's why if you have that business account and your software and you're matching those things, every little transaction that's going in that bank account, we're keeping track. We're categorizing that in the right place.
Especially when you're looking at all the applications that you have, especially all the apps that we're getting now. And then
Yeah.
as you have a bookkeeper, you can look at month by month expenses versus profit. A lot of
Yes.
things that a business should look at monthly, and
Yes.
because
Even weekly.
even weekly, I think weekly too.
Yes.
But you have, if you have a
Yes.
monthly bookkeeper, you can do those things. You're
That's
staying
right.
more organized because you
Yes.
never know. You could have some extra expenses or your profit margins going down, and you don't know this unless you
That's right.
look into the business. And we don't
Well,
have
I
we
would like
shouldn't
to
be
give
working
you,
on our own book. Good.
no, I would like to give you a perfect example. So I was working on a client's books. Well, not me, one of my guys on the team. And he's like, Shyrell, I need you to look at something. I'm like, okay, well, we all love that wonderful mobile deposit, right? Everybody just click, 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 right? Well, let me tell you a very, very big problem with that. Okay. Some people, they write in their own handwriting things. And well, we know that this is a computer scanning that handwritten check or whatever it is, and handwriting. And it's just a computer scanning that document. So it doesn't always see it exactly right. So my client had a check that was for $18,850. The bank picked up
Oh,
$10,050.
my goodness.
It made the eights zeros. Now, I want you to know that, of course, my client, he did not do his bookkeeping all the time. He did not want to pay us to do his little hour or 2 hours a month because he thought he could do it himself. However, when we're doing that reconciliation, we noticed we pick up that, hey, wait a minute, the bank owes you $8,800.
Oh my
He's
goodness.
like, wait a minute, no, there's no way that could happen. The bank would tell me. And this is Neil. Guess how many months later this was that we found this? 4 months. 4 months later. Did
Is
the
that too
bank
late? Is
call
that too
my
late by
client?
catching that?
No. Well, of course not. But do
Ugh.
you think the bank called the client and said, "Oopsie, your
No,
deposit missed eight
if you
thousand
weren't
eight hundred dollars"?
if you weren't looking at a detailed tax accountant like you
Exactly.
guys do. So we're
Yes,
talking
that's your
bookkeeping
bookkeeping.
now. And I'm
I
just
called my
telling you,
client.
I
I
would
said,
love
hello.
I
Yeah, I
would
called my client. I said, we got to call the bank and tell them they owe you $8,800. He was like, I just don't believe this. I can't believe that happened. Can't believe they didn't call me and tell me. I said, oh
100%.
no, they're using your $8,000 for the last 4 months for free.
Totally. So let's talk about further things about bookkeeping that's very interesting. Is that I think that people don't see the value of it. And I
They
think that
don't.
what you told me, look at your business weekly. Some people are just looking at paying bills and surviving, and they're not even know if they're profiting or not. And
That's
then
right.
you have to have some decision making process. Is this really working? The eureka
Right.
moment before you hit where you have to say, okay, I got to cut a team or I have to do specific things. But that's why you bookkeep.
That's right. That's right. If you don't do that bookkeeping, how are you going to budget? It's like,
Well,
oh my
if you should
gosh.
ask so many businesses what their budget is and they have no idea.
Exactly. They have no clue. And I'm like, wow, you don't even know how much you spend. I mean, they might have a little bit of a clue how much they think they spend on, their employees, their contractors. They think they know.
Mhm.
And then when I do that bookkeeping, just like my client had no clue he was missing out of $8,000 out of his account, you know? And let me tell you, Neil, after that happened, he was like, oh my God, Shyrell, okay, you know what? You will do my bookkeeping from now on. I promise I will never let this happen again.
And if you
So
find
that's
out the
why.
business owner's doing the bookkeeping and not even someone on their team, you're going to go crazy, right? Because say, how
Yes,
much are you worth an hour?
that's right. That's
You
right.
know, I try to outsource everything. I don't mow
Yes.
my own grass. Why would I
No
do that?
way.
Am I worth that? No.
No way.
I don't do, so that's what
That's
we
right.
as business owners have to decide. And I know you talk about this always,
Yes,
is put the people that you are, I guess it's not worth it, but it's not worth your time. Explain
that's
that again
right.
about bookkeeping too. If you're spending your time bookkeeping, you're not able to do other things in the business.
That's right. You're wasting your time. Here you are. Okay. How much is the business owner of the business worth?
An hour. If you're not able to give your hourly rate, there you go.
That's right. To me, the business owner is just as much worth as the entire business. So if you have a $5 million a year business, well, guess what? Your owner is worth $5 million. So you're going to sit there and tell me that your $5 million person is going to mow the grass? I don't think so. Is that $5 million person going to do, the bookkeeping when you're paying that bookkeeper not $5 million an hour or $5 million a year? So that's the way we have to look at ourselves. We have to put that worth on ourself and that value on ourself and say, hey, really, should I be doing this or should I give this to a professional? And
Wow.
I had a brand new client yesterday in my office. She came in and her husband did not come. And of course, I have a million questions for both of them. She's like, oh, I just want to kill him for not coming. I told him he needed to be here. So, of course, we got to get him on the phone and ask him a ton of questions. And he's not been wanting to do bookkeeping. Well, guess what? They can't do anything because they're stuck because his bookkeeping is a mess. It's out of control.
All right. All
And
right.
she's like, we got to fix this.
All right.
October 15th, the last deadline of the year is coming up. Holy cow. And a lot of people think, oh, I have an extension. So if I owe tax, I'm okay. No, you're not okay. You are racking up penalty and interest every single day if you owe tax. You are not okay till the extension. People think, well, why? I hear this all the time. Why did I get a penalty? We did it by the 15th or, oh my gosh. Well, guess what? You didn't do it
You got to
April
pay what's
15th.
owed. That's the
That's
first
right.
thing. Whatever you know is owed.
Exactly. And
Exactly.
that bookkeeping, trust me, if you are not detailed on the bookkeeping, you are going to get penalized in your tax. Why?
100%.
Because you're not keeping track and making sure the details are all there.
All right. So the
So
best place people right now, if they want to sign up for bookkeeping, where do they go?
ShyrellsTax.com,
All right.
772-999-5589. Call me.
All right. Thank you, Shyrell. That was a special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and the Shyrells.